Welcome to another episode of my Tucson Housing Market Report for September 2023. And I feel this market is starting to shift. It's a market that we have never ever seen, in my opinion, at least in my 30 years of real estate. But the big news here that I'm going to go over is the Home Affordability Index. And first-time home buyers are getting crushed in terms of affordability, which I'm going to cover and go over in detail. Hello, my name's Tyler Ford, Tucson, Arizona with eXp Realty, and welcome to Living in Tucson, your Tucson real estate connection, where each and every month I go over the Tucson Housing Market Report, the numbers, and let you know what's going on. But I've been licensed agent for over 30 years and been following the Tucson housing market and doing these monthly updates now for, I think, going on 10 years. So I've been following the numbers for quite some time. And in my opinion, we've never, ever seen a market like we're in right now, where we've got a rising interest rate environment. We've got home values at an all-time high. And typically what happens when the affordability index is where it is, which I'm going to talk about it, home values start to pull back and decline, and that has not been the case. So home values are holding on because inventory levels are still low, and that's the reason why home values are not pulling back, which I'm going to cover and go over with this month's Tucson Monthly Market Update. The first number I'm going to cover are interest rates to give you an idea of what's going on. And as everybody knows, interest rates have continued to go up. But I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that the Feds are done for 2023, and we will not see any more rate increases by the Fed. So that's my prediction between now and the end of the year, that we're going to see rates go sideways and maybe even pull back slightly. So right now, as we sit, rates are at an all-time 20-year high. So we've not seen rates this high in over 20 years. So right now on a 30-year fixed, we're sitting at 7.49%. And on a 15-year fixed, we're sitting at 6.78%. Well, let's dive on into the numbers. The first I'm going to cover is what we call percentage of list. And that is when somebody lists a home in the MLS, what percentage of the list price is a seller getting? And in my opinion, it's a little deceptive because it doesn't take into consideration price reductions. The number's based on the final list price. So in my opinion, I think the Tucson Association should put out some type of chart that shows how many listings actually did a price reduction and by how much. That would be extremely useful. But I do like to cover it because it does show a trend, and trends are your friend. So when percentage of list is starting to go down, that means the market's pulling back. When we see percentage of list going up, it means home values are increasing, and it's more of a seller's market rather than a buyer's market. So it definitely tells you which way the market's headed. So percentage of list for single family homes listed in the MLS for September 2023 was 98.7%. For townhomes and condos, percentage of list was 99.2%. The next number I'm going to cover is what we call months supply of inventory. And that is, if no other homes were to hit the market today, how long would it take for all the inventory to be sold off in the MLS? So right now for September 2023, month supply of inventory for single family homes was 2.3 months or 69 days. For townhomes and condos, month supply of inventory is 1.4 months or 42 days. So right now in the MLS, if nothing were to hit the market, everything would be sold off in about 70 days. But this is starting to creep up, and it's based on inventory and days on market, which I'm going to be covering next. The next one I'm going to dive into is what we call days on market. And that is when somebody lists a home, how long does it take from the time that you list it until the time that it goes under contract? Is called days on market, or DOM for short. And I'm going to go out on a limb here. Usually days on market is somewhat seasonal. It ebbs and flows based on the time of the year. But in my opinion, I think days on market is going to spike and go up dramatically. Inventory levels are going to stay low. Home affordability and buyers are disappearing just because home affordability is higher than it's been since 1981 when interest rates were at 18%. But I think homes are going to sit on the market a whole lot longer. So days on market is definitely one to pay attention. I've been preaching home inventory levels, economics 101, supply and demand, but I would pay close attention to days on market, and I do think it's going to take longer for sellers to be selling homes in the current market that we're in. So right now, days on market for September 2023 for single family homes, it took 35 days for homes to go under contract. For townhomes and condos, days on market right now is 24 days. So again, it's all about pricing your home correctly. If priced right, things are still moving, but again, pay close attention to days on market. And just my gut feeling is we're going to see this number spike, and it's going to take longer for sellers to sell their homes moving forward until we get some type of catalyst that changes the current market that we're in. By now, you're probably wondering what the heck are home values doing here in Tucson. Are we going up, down, or sideways? But home values are hanging on, and it has everything to do with inventory, supply, and demand, which I'm going to cover. So right now, the median for September 2023, the median home sales price for single family homes was $385,500, up year over year 2.3%. So we're up slightly. It's been a pretty flat year where home values are hanging on and going sideways. For townhomes and condos, the median sales price for September 2023 was $255,500, and again up year over year 2.6%. So good news for buyers. For the last couple years since COVID hit, we saw double-digit appreciation, and we've been going sideways for much of the year, where home values haven't been increasing month over month. Craziness like we saw over the last couple years. This next number I'm going to cover is one that I have not covered in the past, but I'm going to start to cover it because it's become a major issue where buyer demand is drying up, and it has everything to do with home affordability. And home affordability right now is at an all-time low since 1981, meaning homes are less affordable than they've been since 1981 when interest rates were at 18%. And it goes back to days on market. It's a big reason as to why I think we're going to see days on market spike, because buyer demand is going away based on home affordability. So I'm going to do a video specifically explaining home affordability, and there's some numbers that the MLS is using that we don't know in order to come up with the numbers that they use for the home affordability index. But income goes into it, interest rates go into it, and then also home values go into the information that then gives us home affordability. But 100 is kind of the baseline, where anything below 100 homes are becoming less affordable and starting to price buyers out of the market, where above 100 homes are more affordable, and after somebody buys a home, they've got money left over for discretionary type spending. So anything below 100 is people are starting to become tapped, and they're becoming a slave to their mortgage, where their mortgage and utilities and basic necessities is really all they can afford when they buy a house. So anyway, I'm going to start to cover this number because it's becoming an issue and starting to price many buyers out of the market. So home affordability, and if you read the definition, it's a little confusing. If you look here, the definition, this index measures housing affordability for the region. For example, an index of 120 means the median household income is 120% of what is necessary to qualify for the median price home under prevailing interest rates. A higher number means greater affordability. But the one thing that we don't know is what they're using for the median household income that goes into the Home Affordability Index. So right now we are sitting at 73, which is making homes less affordable than they've been since 1981. And again, buyer demand is dramatically drying up based on increased interest rates and higher home values, and people's incomes not keeping pace of a rising interest rate market and home values doing what they've done over the last couple of years. So 73 for single family homes. Townhomes and condos were above 100. We're at 111, and that's why the townhome and condo market is really, really hot, because people are gravitating more to that because it's what they can afford in terms of their mortgage, in terms of their debt to income ratio. So again, it's one that I'm going to start to keep an eye on. And again, anything below 100, homes are becoming much less affordable and pricing buyers out of the market. Anything above 100, homes are becoming more affordable. My favorite number in that is home inventory levels, Economics 101, supply and demand. And here lies the problem. And in my 30 plus years of real estate, it's a market that I have never ever seen before. We've got low buyer demand, we've got a rising interest rate environment, and we've got home values holding strong. Usually in that type of environment, home values are going to start to pull back. But the reason they're not is because home inventory levels still remain low. So until there's a catalyst that kicks home inventory levels up dramatically, in my opinion, we're not going to see a huge pullback on price. So days on market, home affordability, all things to pay attention to. But again, home inventory levels still remain low. And the reason for this is, if you think about it, there's a lot of people out there that would sell, but why would you want to get off a high 2%, 3% rate to go buy a home in the 7s that's more expensive, where your payment's going to go up? It just doesn't make sense. So people are staying put and they're house locked. So until there's some type of catalyst that's going to change that, whether it's lowering rates, but if you lower rates, then home values start to continue to go up, which also has an impact on affordability. So I don't know how this plays out, but it's something that I've not seen in my 30 years. So right now in the MLS for September 2023, home inventory levels for single family homes, 1,950, and down year over year 23.8%. So we are down, and usually right now is when inventory levels start to go up based on the seasonality of our market, and home inventory levels are not. They've actually gone down. That's why home values are holding strong. Townhomes and condos, right now there's 202 active listings. Year over year, down 34%. So again, Economics 101, supply and demand. And again, I don't know how this plays out, but in order for home values to pull back, we're going to need to see home inventory levels go up and buyer demand still stay low, which could then dramatically drop price. But again, I don't know what that catalyst is going to be. And right now, as this is sitting, home values are going to continue to hold strong as long as home inventory levels remain low. The next number to cover is one that I had not been covering, but I've started covering it lately because it shows that buyer demand is definitely drying up, and that is closed transactions. Buyer demand is just not there based on home affordability. Therefore, the number of units sold has dramatically gone down. So right now, closed sales in the MLS for September 2023 for single family homes, there were 757, down 22.2%. But usually this number, and the reason I didn't report on it, it was always normal. And a normal month for closed transactions is anywhere from 1,000 on the low side up to 1,500 on the high side. But again, buyer demand has been drying up. Therefore, unit sales and closed transactions are way down. For townhomes and condos for the month of September 2023, there were only 102 closed transactions, down year over year 41.4%. That's huge, almost 50%. Down in terms of volume. This shows you that buyer demand is drying up, and it goes back again to days on market. Keep an eye on it. I do think it's going to spike, but home values will continue to hold because of home inventory levels. If you're somebody that likes to geek out on the numbers, I'd encourage you to head over to Tucson Homes and Lots. The monthly market report that I do, I cover the numbers that I like to cover, but there's a lot more to the report if you really want to dive into it. So what you want to do is head on over to Tucson Homes and Lots. And if you scroll down on the homepage, you're going to see a button here that says Tucson Market Update. You're going to click on that. It's going to take you over to my blog post that I do each and every month. And if you scroll down the page, at the very bottom of the page, there's a button that says Tucson Housing Market Full Report. If you click on that, up comes the PDF that'll let you dive on into all the numbers in the monthly report that comes out. So there's a lot of really good numbers here. So again, encourage you to head on over to Tucson Homes and Lots and click on that in order to really dive into what's going on here in the Tucson housing market. Well, that's a wrap for my Tucson housing market report for September 2023. But if you're a first-time home buyer buying on an FHA or a VA, just based on home affordability, I would caution you just to be patient, because at the end of the day, buying a home where you're strapped and you've maxed out your debt to income ratio and you've got no money left over at the end of the month other than to pay the mortgage and the basic utility bills and groceries, that is not fun. So I would encourage you to stay put, because at some point, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. This market will change. What that catalyst is going to be, I don't know. If you're a seller out there, it's still a great time to sell. Home values are holding on strong. I can't guarantee that will continue. So if you're a seller out there right now, is a great time to sell, just because home inventory levels are low, but you want to make sure you price your home correctly. It's going to take a little bit longer. Days on market are going up, so you want to have realistic expectations going into it. But again, it's all about pricing your home correctly. So if you have any questions or comments, I would encourage you to comment below. And for more awesome videos about living in Tucson, your Tucson Real Estate Connection, you can subscribe to the channel. You can hit the bell button, and each and every time a video comes out, you're notified. And do me a huge favor. If you got value out of this video, do me a huge favor. Give it a high five by liking it on YouTube. I would greatly appreciate it. In the meantime, make it a great day.
Buying or selling a home is one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make. That's why you need a local Tucson expert real estate partner. With all the exciting reasons you have for buying a home, one of the biggest reasons is it can dramatically increase your family's wealth. So whether you're looking to purchase your first home, your next home, a second home, an investment property, or maybe you want to sell your home, choosing an experienced real estate expert to help you will make it a smooth and easy process. And choosing the right realtor can make the difference of more money in your pocket after closing. So whether you're a first-time home buyer or a seasoned investor, or maybe just interested in knowing what your home's worth, contact Tyler Ford and Team today. Call Tyler Ford and Team today at 520-775-3400. That's 520-775-3400.